Yo, Charlene, you find anything I might like?
There's all sorts of stuff here, but whether you like it or not is a different matter. Sorry, darling, I just felt this mysterious urge to get drunk all of a sudden. Hopefully I can find something you like too.
Yeah, it's cool, don't sweat it. I'll be happy with some regular cheap beer. My day off work tomorrow. Besides, it's been ages since I had a beer. I have a weird urge to get wasted myself. If anything, I should be the one apologizing. Sending you out on your own to the store at this time of night.
I don't mind, honestly, I'm enjoying the fresh air. It was my idea to get drunk, you know, silly. But don't you have some work to finish?
I do have a few reports to send in, but I'll have them all done in time for the party to start when you get back. Yeehaw!
Really? I don't think it's that weird.
We've been married for 6 months now. I haven't known you to drink alcohol once. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, I'm just surprised is all. Come to think of it, I never saw you drink back when we were dating either.
Actually, now that you mention it, I think you might have a point.
Right? I also can't help but think you've kinda not been yourself lately. You seem, I don't know, downcast? Is everything alright? Is there something you want to talk about?
Wait, what? I seem downcast? I don't think I am.
I'm only saying it because that's how you seem. I'm not the only one who thinks it. My mom's worried about you too. She says every time she's been over to see you lately, you were distant, like your head was away in the clouds. Are you really okay? I want you to know I'm here for you if you want to talk, and I mean about anything.
Wow, really? Your mom would worry about me? I'm surprised.
Why would you be surprised? Of course she'd be worried about you. She cares about you. She was so happy for us at the wedding. She spoils you like your own daughter now.
Well, you're not exactly wrong. But let's not forget, she did oppose the marriage to begin with, didn't she? That's the only reason I said I was surprised.
Sure, I won't deny it. She did seem to have her reservations for a little while at the start. But that's only because she raised me on her own as a single mother, and she's always been overprotective of me. I might be a grown man now, but I think in her mind, she felt like she was losing her little boy.
I guess I can understand that. Going purely based off appearances, I guess I could understand if she didn't think I was the most wholesome girl. I've always had a unique style. I think she probably got a bad first impression of me and her mommy instincts kicked in.
Don't judge a book by its cover. I don't think my mom's like that. The truth is, baby cakes, marrying you was the best decision I ever made. You're the perfect wife.
Oh, stop being all sentimental, Neil. You're making me blush in the middle of the store.
You could at least say something nice back. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Are you really okay? If there's something playing on your mind, I want you to talk to me about it. Suffering in silence is officially forbidden.
Look, I already told you, Neil. I'm fine, really. I'm hardly even ever anxious. The only things that bug me these days are cold calls from fridge salesmen and that general variety of nuisance.
Cold calls? Now that you mention it, we have been getting way more phone calls than usual lately. It's the weirdest thing though, whenever I answer, whoever it is just breathes down the phone for a second or two before hanging up on me. Are they sales calls?
Yeah, most likely.
But why would they hang up when I answer the phone? Don't they want me to buy their fridges? Don't you think it's weird? I mean, sure, I would hang up as soon as they started their spiel about how many ice cubes it can dispense in 5 seconds, but they don't know that.
I bet they see women as easier targets and don't feel as confident taking advantage of a guy. Isn't it just nervous hesitation? You hear stories of predatory salesmen taking advantage of soccer moms and old people all the time.
Well, really? That's despicable, totally not cool. If one of those jerks ever tries selling you a fridge, I want you to come and get me immediately. I'll tell them what for.
You? Tell someone what for?
Eh, what's that supposed to mean? I could easily put the likes of those 2 bit swindlers in their place. You might not feel like you can rely on me, but I at least wish you'd have faith in my ability to dispatch with some sleazy comment on the other end of a telephone line.
Okay, if you say so, sweetie. I'll think about it. Oh, sorry. I'm heading to the cash register now. Gotta go.
Okay, be careful on the way home. You never know what kind of freaks are lurking at this hour. Mom, I'm sorry to message you this late at night. I know you're usually knitting sweaters and enjoying your chamomile tea while winding down for bed right about now. Are you free to chat?
Neil, what's wrong?
Has Charlene showed her face at your place at all over the last few days? Or has she phoned you? Or have you, heard from her at all?
No, dear, I haven't heard anything. You're worrying me now, sweetie pie. What's going on? Did something happen with Charlene?
Well, kind of, but this is a little difficult for me to say. Look, the thing is, she hasn't been home these last few days.
Huh? You mean Charlene's vanished? I wonder where the devil she's gone. When did you last see her?
She went to the store to get some drinks in the middle of the night a few days ago, and I haven't seen her since. I tried calling her friends and family, but no luck. They just said they had reason, but it seems not. I'm no closer to finding her at all.
I'm so sorry, darling, but I don't know anything. But if you went to such length to find her, and it still turned up nothing, I hate to suggest this. But do you think maybe she could have been involved in some kind of accident?
I have considered the possibility. But it's been 3 days now, and I haven't heard anything from the police or the hospital. Usually the family gets a phone call or a knock at the door in cases like this.
Good point. There's no way someone would have been in touch to let you know after all this time. You're her husband.
Right? Where the hell could she be? This makes no sense.
Do you really have absolutely no idea whatsoever? For example, did she seem to be worried or having something playing on her mind recently? If she did, maybe she went off somewhere related to whatever it was that was bothering her.
What are you saying? That she left because of me?
What? Come on, Neil. You know I never said that, but the fact that you just asked me, that must mean that there's a possibility, am I right? You and me have already discussed how we both noticed she hasn't been herself lately. There must have been something going on with her behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Well, I don't know, Mom. It's true, she hasn't really been herself lately. But that doesn't necessarily mean she pulled a vanishing act in the middle of the night.
How can you say that? I understand you want to see the best in her, but we simply don't know enough at this stage. You shouldn't go jumping to conclusions.
Even if that was the case, are you really suggesting she'd just disappear without so much as a word? Without so much as a hint that she was about to do it? She just went to the store for crying out loud.
She probably just didn't want to hurt you, son. Charlene always did have such a kind heart. If that really is what happened, you should respect her wishes and accept it without a struggle. I understand it must be difficult, but sometimes when you love someone, you have to let them go.
Wait a sec, isn't this a bit weird?
Weird? What do you mean?
Why does the conversation seem to be proceeding based on the assumption that Charlene ran away because she hates me all of a sudden? You say I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but that's exactly what you're doing yourself. Why are you so hell-bent on this being the only explanation, Mom?
Oh, don't be so dramatic. I'm not saying that's definitely what's going on. I'm just saying that it's a possibility, that's all. Anyways, more importantly, don't you have work today? Aren't you normally working at this time?
You expect me to go to work and act like everything's fine when my wife's been missing for the last 3 days? This is not the time to be working.
Oh dear, did you take the day off? You better not have. That is simply not acceptable, son. I understand that you're worried, but you still have to go to work. You're an adult now, and being an adult is about having responsibilities.
You say that, but what do you suggest I do if Charlene comes home while I'm away filing papers at the office? I wouldn't be there for her when she might need me the most. I can't imagine anything worse.
In that case, I propose we do the following. How about I wait at your house for Charlene to come back while you go out to work? That way, there's no danger of her coming home to an empty house, and you can keep putting food on the table while not getting a reputation as a slacker at your company. It's a win-win.
Alright, I guess that's not a bad idea, actually. Are you sure you don't mind?
It's nothing, dear. I don't mind at all. I'm retired, you know. Not only that, but who knows? She might have left some clues behind at the house. I always did love a good mystery novel. Time to put my skills to use for real. I'll look around and see if I can't find anything useful.
Alright. Sorry to trouble you, Mom. I really appreciate this.
Don't mention it, darling. It's nothing at all. It's settled then. That's what we'll do starting tomorrow. You've already taken the day off today, so it can be helped. But at least make sure you get plenty of rest tomorrow. Try not to worry too much, okay?
Alright. Call me right away if Charlene comes back. I'll be reachable all day. I'll explain the situation to my boss and see if I can get permission to duck out on short notice if necessary. Thanks again, Mom.
Neil, I'm sorry to message you while you're at work, but I thought I should tell you this. I don't think Charlene is ever coming back, son.
Why?
I found a post-it note with "Don't look for me" written on it. Surely this is all the proof you need that she did run away after all.
Was it really her who wrote it?
I found it in your bedroom, so who else would it be? But wait, honey. I found something else. She left behind a set of signed divorce papers.
What? Are you being serious right now?
I'm so sorry to have to be the one to tell you this, son. Surely you understand what's going on now. I know this must be painful, but she couldn't have made it any clearer. She ran away because she wanted a divorce. Give up on her at once. She abandoned you like a piece of garbage.
Don't even joke about something like that. I never left behind any divorce papers. I never abandoned Neil.
Huh? Neil? Is that you? What are you talking about? You're confusing me, son.
It's me, Charlene. You know, your daughter-in-law? Just because you hate me doesn't give you any right to stage my disappearance. What you did is sick and twisted. You're crazy.
Huh? Wait a second. What? Is that really you, Charlene? But how could it be? This is Neil's
On an errand, so I'm replying to you instead. Besides, if anyone's saying weird things, it's you. The accusations you're making against me are hurtful, malicious, and downright wrong, so I had to correct you. I couldn't bear not saying anything when I saw the notifications on his phone.
But this makes no sense. How are you and Neil together right now? I was certain you ran away.
And who could blame me for wanting to? Anyone would want to disappear with a deranged mother-in-law waging a relentless harassment campaign against them.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Me? Harassment campaign? I've never heard anything so ridiculous in my life. I'm the sweetest, dearest old lady you'll ever meet. The word harassment isn't even in my vocabulary.
I'd prefer it if you didn't tell barefaced lies. All those letters addressed to me demanding I break up with Neil. All those creepy, threatening phone calls. It was all you, wasn't it?
No, like I told you, I don't have the foggiest idea what you're talking about, Missy. These allegations are preposterous. I'm sorry you had to endure those things. They sound truly awful. But please, think about this rationally for a moment. Surely the fact that someone's doing all of this to you in the first place must tell you that you and my Neil are simply not a good match. Face reality, little girl.
I'm pretty sure that's something for me and Neil to decide. Just because you happen to be my mother-in-law doesn't mean you get to treat me like dirt. There are such things as decency, respect, and boundaries, and you need to learn what they are, because you sure as hell don't seem to have a clue right now.
I told you it wasn't me. I'm innocent. Do you have a single shred of evidence to back up these outlandish claims of yours? If you don't, you'll shut that insolent little mouth of yours if you know what's good for you.
Oh look, more threats. Funny, you sound just like the author of a certain type of letter I've grown all too used to reading lately. Anyway, it's true. I didn't have any proof back then. That's precisely why I left the house. A harassment campaign against me? The phone calls, the letters, it was always about me being with Neil, right? Naturally, I thought it must be someone close to home. Someone we both knew. It wasn't long before I started considering you as a likely suspect. You weren't exactly our strongest supporter back when we announced our engagement, were you? It's only natural I'd have my suspicions.
Even if hypothetically that was the case, what would any of that have to do with you pulling a vanishing act in the middle of the night?
The objective of your harassment campaign against me was clearly to get me to divorce your son, right? That being the case, I figured that if I just disappeared without divorcing him, you'd take further action to advance your objective, and I could calculate my next move from there.
Aha! Well, it looks like your absurd, delusional little plan failed then, because I did no such thing.
Oh, but you did, didn't you? You planted a fake post-it note and a set of forged divorce papers. You didn't forget, did you? It was you who planted these, wasn't it? I think that's more than enough proof of your mad scheme.
Lies, defamation, slander. I just found them when I went to the house to wait for your return, that's all. It's all in the chat logs. Just scroll up and you'll see what a fool you're being. That proof? Don't make me laugh.
You really think you can worm your way out of this, don't you?
There's nothing for me to worm my way out of. Because I've done nothing wrong and that's the truth. Dearie me, I have to say, Charlene, I really am so very disappointed in you. I had no idea you were delusional enough to pick a fight with me based on such twisted, trumped-up charges. What a malicious little witch you are. You live in a fantasy world. It's no wonder my poor Neil was constantly stressed while he was with you.
You can say whatever you want. I don't care. No matter what you say, it's already too late.
You two are equally free to make whatever baseless accusations you like. because it's too late for you too. Rest assured I'll be telling my Neil about the absurd paranoid fiction you devised in an attempt to turn him against me and destroy my good name. You're conspiracy theorist. Neil must be a lovely, caring, kind boy, but even he has his limits. He'll have you out of his life and out on the streets with a box of your things before you can say paranoid.
Do as you please. One of us won't be a part in his life anymore before long, and it won't be me.
Keep dreaming. I suggest you tread carefully from now on, girl. You better be on your best behavior. You wouldn't want your husband to abandon you now, would you? Although something tells me that ship already left the harbor. Your divorce is pretty much set in stone after the crazy little trick you pulled. Oh well, better luck with the next poor sap dumb enough to put a ring on your finger.
Charlene gave me the quick rundown on what happened. Apparently you wanted to speak to me?
Neil, you're finally home. You're never going to believe it, son. Just listen to this. That wife of yours really is a nasty piece of work.
By nasty piece of work, you talking about the harassment? You're right, it was truly despicable. Trouble is, I heard you were the one behind it all along.
Preposterous. That's nothing more than that girl's paranoid delusion speaking, and you should know better than to believe her. I can't believe my own son would think me capable of doing such a thing. I was over the moon when I heard you'd finally bagged yourself a woman. But this one's hopeless. Get rid of her and find a new one. Surely you understand divorce is the only solution here. I'll admit that I had my doubts when you announced the engagement, but I never thought she was this evil. She's practically the incarnation of the devil himself.
Like I said, Mom, Charlene told me what happened. Just give it up already. Why are you even bothering trying to keep up the charade?
Charade? Surely you understand I'm the one telling the truth here. That girl's trying to paint me as the villain in her vicious lies. Is this how you repay me for all I've ever done for you? Oh my god! I sacrificed everything for you, boy! Look at how you throw it back in my face! You'd sooner believe the devil herself over your own mother? Not a single good thing has come of you marrying that girl. That's enough. I have to stop before my emotions get the better of me. But let me make myself clear. You are to divorce that witch immediately.
Horrible and vicious. I totally agree.
Right! I'm glad we agree. In that case, hurry up and do the right thing. Don't worry, I'll get the divorce papers ready. Hurry up and come home so we can get this over with.
Surely we won't be able to divorce with those papers, though.
Huh? Why not?
Because you forged Charlene's signature. Forging divorce papers is illegal.
Oh god, not you too! What are you saying? This is nothing more than another attempt of hers to frame me for something I didn't do. Don't fall for it, son. You're smarter than this. I already told you it wasn't me.
You mean that's what you wanted to make it look like in a desperate attempt to cover your tracks? Because Charlene figured out what you'd done. If you didn't try and paint it as her trying to frame you, everyone would know what a sicko you really are.
Oh my god, you genuinely believe her over me? Don't you, Neil? I'm your mother. Don't even joke about things like this. Besides, didn't you just agree that she's horrible and vicious?
Truly horrible and vicious. In fact, I've never met anyone as horrible and vicious as you, Mom.
Huh? Me?
You embarked on a twisted harassment campaign against my wife for no other reason than that you didn't like her. If that wasn't bad enough, you did it in the most cowardly way possible. Anonymously from the shadows, like a rat afraid of being caught. Now you've finally been found out. Instead of just admitting what you did and accepting it was wrong, you tried to pin the blame on her. You're a disgrace of a mother, and a disgrace of a human being. You make me sick.
No, 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 no! How many times do I have to tell you before it goes in? None of what you're saying is based on actual proof, is it? You're saying these horrible things to me based on your wife's word and your wife's word alone.
Proof? We've got proof.
Let me guess, these supposedly forged divorce papers. That just doesn't cut it, son. Serious accusations require serious proof. And there simply isn't any because it wasn't me. Open your eyes and face reality.
The only one who needs to face reality is you. Seriously. Didn't you think it was weird? Me not noticing the harassment campaign being waged against my wife despite us living under the same roof? Not only that, but did you really think she wouldn't confide in me about it?
Huh? Wait, what do you mean?
I've known since the beginning. That's why I agreed to help Charlene when she told me about her plan. If I thought it meant we had a shot of finding out who was behind this and putting my wife's suffering to an end, I was willing to do anything.
Stop changing the subject. Show me the proof. Nothing you're saying has any meaning if you can't prove it.
We have proof after you suggested you come and wait at the house for Charlene to come back so I could go back to the office. I installed some hidden cameras. We saw what you did as plain as day. We saw you planting the divorce papers, and we saw you writing the fake goodbye note.
No, you're lying, right?
You wish I was. We just got done handing the footage over to the police. You'll probably be getting a knock at the door from a couple of guys in uniform real soon.
The police? Oh my god, what have you done? Did you just hand your own mother over to the police? I only did this for you, Neil. I did it all for you.
Anyone who would go out of her way to cause a woman I love so much pain and suffering, and she felt she had no choice but to stage her own disappearance, is no mother of mine. We're no longer family. In fact, you're nothing to me. Now, how about you try telling the truth, you despicable liar? You didn't do this for me, you did it for yourself.
No, that's just not true. I did it because that girl isn't good enough for you. A mother knows these things. You should trust my instincts. That's why I tried to make you divorce her.
There's a name for that kind of thing. Do you know what it is? An unwelcome favor! You know what? We're done here. Before you do anything else to jeopardize my marriage, shut your mouth and disappear from our lives forever! After that, a couple of police officers showed up at my mom's house and she was rigorously questioned. What she did was harassment, plain and simple. But due to the fact that it occurred within the family, and with it being her first offense, as well as taking into consideration that no one was injured, she escaped criminal charges this time, getting off with a stern warning from the police, and a heavy dose of embarrassment. However, that she carried out a malicious harassment campaign against my wife is undeniable truth, and not satisfied with the police decision, we decided to file civil charges against her. As a result, we succeeded in extracting a large amount of compensation from her for cutting her out of our lives forever. While she may not have ultimately been arrested, the officers who came to question her were seen entering the house by the neighbors, and with that, the neighborhood rumors grew wings and started to fly. Not only that, but the local gossips also somehow found out we took my mom to court. She became such a social pariah that none of her former friends or neighbors dared to be seen talking to her anymore. Unable to bear the ridicule and isolation, she decided to move out of state, and now she lives on her own somewhere far, far away. I'm pleased to say we haven't heard from her once since the court case. The threatening letters and phone calls finally stopped. And now me and my wife Charlene are living our lives happily together in peace.